Hello everybody, it's your boy Sam, aka the train pimpin' mother main, my bladders and dadders. It's been just about a month, maybe a couple days more since the last update. I believe I looked earlier, it was March 23rd, 24th, so as I said, it would be about a month in between updates, if not more. With Corona, been working half days, so I'm home in the early afternoon. The weather here has been garbage, Cleveland, Ohio, so that's more time to work on the layout, and that's exactly what I did. We've made a bonanza of progress since the last time we spoke. I hope everybody is doing well. All the people in my Facebook groups, all the people that just subscribe, all the other modelers out there, everybody. So let's go ahead and start left to right. Just makes life easy. Do a little run by right there. Got my Atlas or my Walther's track cleaning car on there, doing its work. So as you know or have seen, this half of the table is the lumber logging style stuff. That's what you want to call it. So we've got 95-ish, I would say, of the foam in place, 95%. Got everything. We're going to contour this way. Going to contour all this down, fill this in a little bit. Hillside. And then over here, contour down in. Might do a little mini. They pulled some trees from this spot, even though they're bringing the logs and stuff in. But why not take from what's right here and have it go into lush forest up here. So I've completely glued down my main lines all the way around the table. What's behind, I'll show you in a bit. All the way up through, got my double crossover. Everything is glued down. I've also glued down these two switches, which will become a Y and eventually serve as the access to my expansion, which I plan to do. So the Y will meet about here, and we'll have a legitimate branch line coming into a little town with some industries. That's further down the way. Just for context, we'll come off and go out here. Probably about this middle section length coming down off. So we'll do that at some point. Mains are all glued down around the whole entire table. So that's nice. Everything's running smoothly. Put my lead over here for the mine, or for the logging, I'm sorry. It is glued down up to this switch up here. I have a little warehouse. It's going to take box cars or gondolas. I got to Dremel out the doorway a little bit so it'll be easier to serve. And then we got our little racks over here. Put some little detailed wood and all that good stuff in here. It's a work in progress. I'm not sure where I'm going to fit this guy in over here, but I did weather that up some more with some stain. I'm going to clean that up just a bit. So we got lead going into the warehouse. We got matching tracks over here for the gondolas or the box cars that'll be served. Then I'm waiting on another number 4 Pico turnout that will bring in fresh logs to be cut to this guy. So as we were with the mine before, this is still very loose as far as where everything's going to go, but mocked up better than it was previously. And like I said, it is glued up to right here. So everything beyond this will vary, but I'm probably going to stick with something very similar to this. No runarounds, no nothing like that. Just another switch off, maybe log track over there and then one track to be shunted in and out. I'm not sure. So that's coming along. Also, if you notice, I've drilled down all my switch wires directly underneath the table for the entire layout. So those are all hanging down over here. Let's see if I can get you a good look up underneath. So they all come through nicely. So that was another project I'm meaning to work on. So we got, we're going from left to right. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let me show you this back here. You guys will enjoy this, I believe, another little project I've been working on. So I got my little directional boxes, 1 through 6, and they will go in that order. So as I just counted them off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've cut and stained this little board that fits all 6 nicely. Perfectly measured stain, just got to finish up sanding it and whatnot. And then I will be putting that right about here somewhere, you know what I'm saying? It's not exactly how it's gonna look, but right about there, and we'll go in order. And then once I do the expansion, I'm gonna do another little board, and we'll go 1, 2, and we'll have something similar to this, obviously smaller, right about here, 1, 2, and I'll wire them all in once I hook up my DCC, which I have, it's just not running yet, so I'll just leave this here for now. So, again, recap, drilled all my switch wires down, again, 1 through 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they'll all be run. I'm gonna build a little control station here. Everything will be wired, so good to go. We'll do the same over here. So I'm really liking it. It's gonna be contoured up nicely. Got my mains glued. So what I did, as you know, it's 4 sections of the table, 1, 2, 3, 4. These 2 sections are permanently stuck together, as are these 2. So when I glued down the rest of my main, which was mainly just this front section here, including the double crossovers, I put in some Atlas Code 80 track here that's removable, obviously, and then my power track. The DCC will go into this too. Right now I'm just using the standard Bachmann guide just to get power to the track. So I can saw this in half, which I'll do eventually before I do Scenics. And then when I go to move, if I ever do, it'll just be 2 sections that can be easily carried out, you know, 1 man on each side. And then all I have to do is seam it back together in one spot, make life nice and easy. So it's very advantageous. I do plan to move at some point, but not in the semi-near future. So moving over to the mine area, this area is really starting to take shape. I started dremeling, sanding, sculpting, cutting the foam grades. As you can see, it still looks very rough, but I think you get a rough outline, pun intended, I suppose, of what I'm trying to go for. Including over here, I've started working all this down, and eventually it'll all be, you know, cut. Some rock face, some slope, some dirt, some cliff face, some trees hanging out over, all that good stuff. But it's coming along very well as far as I'm concerned. I just wanted this big mountain to separate the 2 sides of the table. I'm gonna have it come out further over here, more foresty. This side a little bit more rocky, more abrupt faces. Gonna fill up as much as I can close to the track without making it look too unrealistic. This is just here because I just put that there, and this is a corner bracket I'm gonna use to secure this. This was what I finished up today. Or not finished up, just kept working on. So I put foam over in here. These portals aren't secured in place yet, but they will go there. I'm gonna cut this back too as an abrupt face, blended in over here. So these portals will be coming out, and it'll taper down to about here-ish. So what I did, got the rest of that foam in place. And as you know, the fascia going across, the layout is all uniform. And then over here, since this would have just been a straight foam face, I tapered in the foam and put up a bigger piece of fascia, matched it up, all that over here. And then I'm gonna do an angled piece down to where the height of land meets the flat. So it looks much more clear from the side profile. Once this is all scaled back, it'll look a lot nicer. And from the side, I know it's black. I chose black purposely. I'm very, very in love with it. It just looks more clean. And then, like I said, I'm gonna angle down a piece of wood probably to about here, maybe even a little further, just very abrupt, so it doesn't take away from the straight on scene. So you'll be able to see it, you know, going directly in. And obviously, this will all be cut back. So that's looking very, very nice. My mine lead and yard completely glued down. Everything is secure. All my switches, excuse me, my hand. All my switches are in place. Everything runs very flawlessly. All the tracks get great power. So we have the lead and then several little storage tracks / shunting tracks leading into the tipple tracks. So we'll give you a further back look. This video is going to be a little longer than usual, but you have it coming off here and then everything going on up. Train going by, nice to see, leading into the tipple tracks. So the track is all glued down. I left this spur open for now. I'm gonna have this go to a little engine shed, which I have not purchased yet. Little engine shed. These buildings are exactly where they will be. So I can show it to you from this perspective. So I have room for 4 or 5 cars on the 4 different tracks, 3 main Tibble, then a secondary Tibble track just for the looks. This elevator, whatever you want to call it, these are all roughly mocked in. This will go directly into the mountain. I'll contour that in place. And then you got the little secondary loader that'll go directly into here. And then I'm going to cut this elevator loader, whatever you want to call it, and it'll go directly into here. So it'll give it more of that 3D use of the space. I'm going slowly around. I'm trying not to walk around as fast or pan in and out as fast. I've had some viewers question that, so I want to make it easy on the eyes. So again, from the front side, the 3 main Tibble tracks, 4 or 5 cars, and 4 cars can be serviced on the secondary. This will go into the mountain. This one comes down into here, then this I'm going to cut and have it go into the loader joint in the engine house. This little guy I like too, just a little secondary building thing. So yeah, like I said, all these buildings are exactly where they will be. I also added 2 little abandoned spurs coming off of the lead track. So you got one, my finger keeps getting in the way, I apologize. So you got one spur that would have been here coming off, and then you got another that would have come off here. And then I'm going to have these caboose and dead, the switcher doesn't run, dead switcher weathered up, and they will be abandoned in place. Let me remove these for now so you can see the track work. The train is coming. So obviously the further track is a little more weathered. You got the little wood tie stopper in there. Some of the rail has been pulled, a few of the ties have been removed. You can see a little bit of the glue, but I'm going to put dirt, scenics, grass, all that. Then it gets a little weathered further, as if they started to pull it up but never finished the job. And then same with where the engine and caboose will stay, the ties crossed in there, which I always loved seeing in person. A little bit of rock slide and all that good stuff in there. So can't wait to weather that up, make it look very, very abandoned. And it just gives it a little more detail and depth to the scene. So, yeah, again, so things have taken a lot of shape. Like I said, stepping back now, getting closer to the point of actual scenics. I'm going to start tapering all this with the Dremel and sanding and shaping and all that here very soon. What you see here as far as all that, besides in here a little bit, all that was about 2 hours worth of work. It's still very rough, but I'm going to get it done. Once I get the rest of the foam job complete, I will spend probably a complete day, if not 2 days, working in the rest of the structure of all this, get it to look where exactly I want it. Then I'm going to fill in all the seams with putty so you won't actually see between the sheets of foam. And from there we'll start staging to put down the first paint, cover, and then ground cover. All that stuff, excuse me. So it's coming a long way, but very excited on the mine scene. Getting this mine lead, yard, all that good stuff was a big challenge. A lot of good planning. I'm using Woodland Scenics foam road bed. This is N scale, obviously. I've also had a lot of viewers, subscribers on the Facebook pages, on the YouTube channel ask about how I access the rear main lines. They run along the back completely, except where they come out of the portals and the other portals over here. Sorry for the quick pan. So I'm going to show you my plan, or not my plan, what I've done. So along each of the backdrops, this looks rough because I haven't cut out the foam on this one yet. I actually just did this one this afternoon because I had forgotten to. But I can reach down on in very, very far. And there's enough distance on each of the 4 back. I got to cut out the foam a little bit more, but I can get in there past my wrist along the back side. And here we go. See exact proof, case in point. And if anything derails, see exactly, if anything derails, I have enough distance on either side of the ports to just reach on in there. The backdrop is 4 different pieces, and I just put these little boards at the seams for support. And then this right here is the center, so all I have to do is take that backdrop off, saw down the middle, and that section and this section will come apart. So looks a little rough back here, but no one's ever going to see it. I don't mind, and it's fully functional. And these are sturdy as could be. I'm shaking it right now, and they're not going anywhere. So got them down here, and down here. So there's 4 backdrops, got 4 portholes for all your viewing pleasures. So let me walk back around again, the mine in all its glory, and the tunnel portals. This video is probably one of the longer ones I've ever done, but there's a lot to showcase. And again, I've added this section over here. I know looking at it this way, it's, you know, big and black and all that, but when I put in this piece over here, I might even taper down this corner and just have it all flow nice. And then the rock face will abruptly, you know, end, and you'll be able to see straight on. This foam is hanging over, it's overbearing the track, but it's going to be cut back. I just always put more foam in where I know it's going to be than less, because if I cut back with not enough, then I have to redo it. If I have more here, then I can chop back slowly, get it to where I want, and work. It's more to work with. So you will be able to see straight in and at this angle. So very, very happy with things. Again, all the track on the entire layout is glued down except from these sections forward. Waiting on one more, I think it's a number 4, it might be a number 6 switch, so I can finish mocking up this section. And then once I have that switch, I can start playing around with exactly where I want things. Give it a week or 2 or less, however long. Decide where everything is going to go permanently. Glue down the track. Mark up where I can show you here now. I didn't have the buildings on here, I just put them on here for the video, but everything is marked. And you can see under there too, securely, or not securely, precisely where the buildings are going to be. I did all the measuring work, the track height, the distance. A little rough, I just gotta, you know, I put it all back for the video. It's all been blank because I've been sawing and vacuuming. So same thing over here too. I'm taking all these buildings off as soon as the video's over, but you can see it's all marked down. Got my little system. So I'll do the same thing down here. Finish gluing down the leads, mark those buildings, and then that's when I'll start to Dremel and do all that down here, and then continue the whole layout. Doing that all down here, like I said, the buildings have been off for 3 weeks now. Doing all that down here, the table, flat surface, easy to vacuum. I'm not going to do any hardcore foam choppage until I have all the rest of this track glued down over here. So then I can remove all the structures on the layout and spend a good 2, 3, however many, probably 2 days, because I'm not just going to do this for 6 hours straight. 2 days, getting all the rest of the foam worked in. And then from there I can start applying the cover and whatnot, and get my buildings securely back in place permanently. So this edit's going on 16, 17 minutes. I can't see my counter, but that's it for now, I guess. Like I said, a lot of progress. If you're in those Facebook groups, please subscribe, leave me messages. All you guys' tips and tricks, Tony Hawk style, have been more than helpful. I'm very, very appreciative, and I've learned so much. And then on top of it too, real quick, I know I keep bringing things up, but there's a lot to talk about. So I got to make another switch plate for here, get this one secured, wire up the switches. And then I have my DCC system. I'm gonna make a little control station right here. So plenty to be worked on. It's a bunch of mini projects. A lot of progress has been made because of Corona. So thanks Corona for one thing at least. And yeah, so. And again, I'm excited that I added these in now. I'm taking my time, doing things slowly, so when I have an idea, I can play with it for a few days before I decide to do it. So now when I make the expansion, I won't have to rip anything up here. I just add in the tracks and can go from there. So if you see anything you like, let me know. Anything you don't like besides the length of the video, let me know. I understand. But yeah, let's keep rolling. So the Train Main, I appreciate you all, and see you soon.